The new server experiment continues, and so does the waste. Here's what I did on day 4 and 5. Starting day 4, I wanted to try the most popular tomb of Ankh, the Peninsula Tomb. But as per usual, it ended up being a mistake because I kept running into people. So after getting one level, I left and went back to the stone tomb. But this time I tried out the last floor there, and it went pretty well. Keeping the poison concept, this floor has ancient scarabs, giant spiders, and bone beasts. I hunted mostly the west area and eventually added the 2 rooms by the northeast and upstairs by the ramp. This was enough to give room for the monsters to respawn in the west and repeat. The average raw experience was on the 230k. I kept hunting here until level 50, and then with the new strong manas, I decided to test out another spawn, and I came up with a weird one, the necromancers in Drefia. Partly because after hunting here on my night, I know there was potential, but also because I was hoping to loot a Pulse of Haste. The spawn ended up being pretty decent, the experience was almost the same as in the tomb, the waste was similar, but the potential for red drops made me keep hunting. But also, I really wanted to come up with a better lab than just hunting the main floor pools and the shallow pupils room. But after 3 hunts, I still couldn't make it better and still had no rare drops, and since my green stamina was gone, it was time to stop. The day overall didn't feel good when I realized how much I had spent. I spent 24 TCs on small potions, 72 TCs in AoE runes, 34 TCs in strong mana potions, and also another 5 in a new gold converter. That's 135 Tibia coins, out of which I bought 50 back and had about 25 TC in supplies left for the next day, so half of the day was waste for today. But I did also spend 25k in buying the strong fire wave in order to stop a riot from happening. So overall, the hunts were getting more expensive, but I'm still within the budget. Moving on to day 5, I knew I had to try and get some money, so I decided to do the Thieves Guild quest in order to sell the reward. The quest took me about 50 minutes, and honestly, even if the crossbow sells, I probably won't make much out of it, because while doing the quest I spent around 15k, and the cost of the tusks is at least another 20k if I sold them instead. Regardless, I was insanely lucky that while doing the quest, while clearing the Dark Cathedral, I looted 2 bags of apple slices back to back. I did a bit more of hunting with the supplies I had, and I think the spawn has potential, but I will test it properly another time. Also, since I was past level 50, I did the Black Knight quest for the crown pieces, which is worth 20k, and then I was ready to go back hunting, but I still wanted to try and hunt with less waste, so I tried hunting ancient scarabs. First, I went to the easiest cave, which is here, and it turns out that it was too easy, and ended up overkilling the spawn, capping at 160k on raw experience. However, the good news is that I finally saw a positive profit by the end of the hunt. So I wanted to hunt a better cave, and I tried checking the best out of the old caves, and as usual it was taken. So I went for the second best, which is by the oasis. This hunt was much harder than the previous one, and I only recommend trying it out if you are a sorcerer, because having the strong fire wave and energy wave made it easier, and it's very necessary when they start casting haste and getting close range. Besides those times, I was mostly using GFP and single attacks, but keep in mind that not having boost of haste makes hunting this much harder. Regardless, once again at the end of the hunt I was on a positive balance. So hunting this is great if you're low on money, because at least you're breaking even. The downside is that the experience is lower, but that should be expected. After 2 hunts and getting 2 levels, I went back to the Stone Tomb to see if it will get better with the strong fire wave, and it did. I was able to push the raw experience to 270k, and since I was hunting nearly the entire cave, I also reduced the waste a bit. It was still a bit of waste with no rare drops to be seen, but manageable. After 1 hunt, instead of going back, I went to yet another place that is one of my personal favorites, the Forbidden Temple. This place is really good on regular servers, but I was doubtful if it will be as good here, because in a normal server the raw bells make this a profit spawn, and then the cultish max makes it even more profitable. However, a new server has zero demand for the max, and the raw bells are quite cheap. But I checked the market before the hunt, and the prices for sale were in the 400s, so I was banking on at least breaking even. And after my first hunt, I had a small waste with no rare items drop, with a raw experience of around 250k. However, I know that the rare drops are fairly common and that I just had a bad hunt. So I came back again and the second hunt was a lot better. Being more comfortable with the spawn, the experience improved to 270k and I had about 15k of profit by the end of that hunt, with a few rare drops this time. Then for the third hunt I had a similar profit, making this spawn the best by far, since the experience is good enough and the fact that it's profitable. I kept hunting there until I ran out of green stamina and ended the day, and the results were from level 53 to 60 and magic level 47. Today the coins reached the 1200s, so it was nearly the same cost for runes on the NPC. Because of that, I only spent 12 TC in the GFB for the first hunt, and then the rest were with gold from the NPC. And the potions were still slightly cheaper, so I spent 51 TC in strong manas. And I also bought back 50 TC. Despite my hunts being profit in paper, part of it is on ratchet items, which can't be sold yet, and others in DGN items, which I either sell for cheaper or hold on until I do the quest. Regardless, it was a good day and I did leave with some offers up in the market for the next day. That's all I have for this video. Thank you very much for watching this series and the experiment I'm doing, and hope it's helping some of you. Please consider subscribe if you haven't already, and hope to see you again.